Hi guys, today I want to talk about problematic tweets and celebrity apologies. Most recently I'd like to focus on the Maya Jama Twitter scenario, the scandal I should call it. In 2012 to 13, she tweeted a few problematic and highly offensive tweets about dark-skinned black women, and it turns out there were a few more problematic tweets that probably offended pretty much everybody under the sun, to be honest with you. Some might argue that it was an age thing. She was relatively young. I think she was 17, 18, around that age. I am one of those advocates of the fact that age is not a signifier of wisdom. I've met some very wise young people, teenagers, and I've met some people who are older who are not that wise. So I actually feel like quite often it comes down to individuals. We know the basic principle of what's right and wrong. I am very, very passionate about how people use social media to share messages, okay? Now, beyond being in PR, as a human being, if you are not going to say something in a public forum, you know, you're not going to walk into a crowded room or into a space, a park or a hall, anywhere, and use offensive language. Why would you go onto a virtual space, which is basically a virtual hall or you know, anything? It's a room. It's literally, the internet doesn't forget, it's literally a space where your words will be seen by many more than literally if you were going to say it inside your own house, or even if you were to say it in a hall or some random place. The internet has a propensity to go much further. So if you're not willing to say it outside, why would you tweet it, right? That's basically where I'm coming from. So aside from being a PR expert, as a human being, common sense. The age thing I've already addressed. The highly offensive words that were used in terms of how, you know, dark-skinned women are less attractive and so on and so forth. That's one thing that has always been a painful reminder as a black woman in this society. Colorism is real. There's a school of thought that the lighter you are, the more attractive you are. And some people need to recognise it exists. And Maya Jama is probably one of those people. Now, she's apologised. She had to apologise twice. Now, I say had to. Again, I'm going to really hone in on the PR perspective here. Because if the initial apology was inappropriate, it apologised on a kind of all women level. So while she mentioned that, you know, let me just read out a few elements. While she said it was an insensitive joke that she quoted, she said it was a stupid joke. She has genuine, serious apologies go out not just to dark-skinned women who she initially offended, but to all women. So there was no specificity there. She wasn't specific. You know, if you offend a group of people, okay, and they're hurt by the words that you've used, you have to be specific in your apology. Now, her next apology was a lot more specific. I think she realised, or her team, her PR team or publicist realised that the first one added more fuel to the fire. My thing is, if you take your time and think, you won't need to apologise for your apology. So in the second apology, she basically apologised for her initial apology. But Maya Jama is not the only celebrity or only influencer or only person of note who has used social media in an inappropriate manner. And while some might argue that the people who brought out these old tweets, you know, they're looking for attention or they're looking for something to, you know, shake the table in terms of, you know, undermining an individual like Maya Jama's credibility or others. There's quite a few celebrities, unfortunately, who use social media, Twitter in particular, inappropriately. But as I said in the beginning of this video, if you are not willing, you know, if you're not willing to say things in public, why would you say them online? Online in public, it's the biggest public you could ever imagine. And logically, if I were her publicist or any publicist who was involved on her team, what you would do is ask certain questions and undertake a social media audit when it comes to social media use. Because this scenario has been played out many times before. So again, it's not just Maya, it's other celebrities, other people of note. So actually as I'm speaking to you now, it becomes quite tiresome to have to keep reminding people. If you're not even ready to delete the tweets, or you don't have anybody prepared on your team to go through and think logically to delete any problematic tweets, then you have to stand by the fact that your words, even if they were tweeted in 2012, 2013, or whatever year, they still exist. And they're still very painful. Okay? They still harm a group of people. And remember, what you're tweeting, whether it's a joke or not, is meant to be seen. Okay? So if it's meant to be seen, you know in that moment what you're doing. You may have changed. Look, I don't know Maya Jama or any of the other celebrities who utilize social media incorrectly. And remember, it's not just celebrities. People, lots of people do that. Lots of people are using social media to offend, upset, troll, really cause targeted harm to groups of people. But in this specific instance, I'm going to talk from my perspective, not only from my PR expertise, but as a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman, proudly so. And what I want to say is, those words caused harm. Maya may have changed now, and we do change. What we hope for is that as people grow older or as they become more experienced, so again, it's not just about age, it's about experience, you're willing to learn. The thing that I found with a lot of these apologies is that they seem to be, unfortunately, shrouded in this narrative of just PR, okay? But we have to go into the depths of authenticity. And what I would have loved to have seen from an apology in the first place, but in the second place, is the steps and measured steps that Maya or anybody else who is as ignorant enough to tweet such offensive words, is to really go into the depths of what you're going to do to unlearn those negative stereotypes and those negative narratives. Why those words caused pain, why you are in a place of privilege. Anybody with any ounce of privilege, any ounce of influence, it has some remnants of privilege. So you have to recognize your privilege. And this is not just a message to Maya, this is a message to anybody using social media. And again, I'm going to go back to the issue at the foundation and the root of this, in terms of colorism, in terms of racism, in terms of sexism, in terms of misogyny. You have to really understand the impacts of any of the words that you're sharing on social media. So this is really, I'm not going to give too much away, because if any of the celebrities who are watching, or anybody who wants a consultancy with me, a consultation, as they say with me, a time to talk, I'm here. But learn from this mistake, understand the steps that you need to take to get to a better place. And apology isn't enough. It's actions. It's visible actions, and an understanding that, and a recognition that you are in a place of privilege, whoever you are. And remember, your words, this again goes out to everybody, your words, whether it's in public, in real life, or in the virtual social media space, they matter, they mean something. So if you're not ready to back them up, no matter whether you tweet them 5 years ago, Facebook 10 years ago, whatever platform you're using, if you're not willing to stand by them, you're going to have to delete them, or really consider and think about the words you're putting out there. That's really all I have to say. Stay tuned, guys. Take care.